Hi there, I'm Jordan Skopp, realtor, wannabe do-gooder, and self-appointed public safety czar, dedicated to saving lives from destructive driving by exposing all brands of distraction. Not bad, right? I mean, it could be worse. I could just be another well-off jerk who doesn't do anything for anybody, right? You can read more about my effort to build a national safety movement at destructivedriving.com. I've rebranded distracted driving as destructive driving because lost lives and broken hearts are the real consequences of distraction. Today, I'm taking on the talk radio industrial complex. Call-in sports and talk radio is an industry that profits from unsafe callers calling from the car while driving dangerous roads with no regard for public safety. Why is there no decency in radio land regarding moral and safe business practices? Why hasn't sports talk or road rage radio mandated that calls should not come from drivers in motion? Sports fans want to hear other sports fans. Program directors want to get them on, keep them calling, keep them coming back. I can just imagine red-faced program directors screaming, "If we don't get these callers on the air, we can all start looking for new work." The highly rated morning and afternoon drive calling shows with well-known drive time personalities note that the regular callers are the real stars. Frank from Staten Island, Tom from Tom's River. Without callers, there's no sports or talk radio. For these special VIP callers, can the barrier of entry be any easier? It can't take 10 minutes for Gus from Syosset to get on and complain about the last second blown field goal or the latest signing of an overpriced free agent. Fans ultimately do not care what the on-air hosts have to say. They don't care about the round of golf they played with some lame comedian or where they had dinner last night. They want to hear from Pete from Fort Lee, somewhere on the New Jersey Turnpike on his way home from the game with the kids in the back. The industry is hungry for more regular callers. They are the brand of recycle, being used and reused endlessly, repeating the themes of the day. 45% of the talk show listeners listen to the radio while in their car, and radio stations have known all about this. The shows are even named The Fan. Over 47 stations in 260 markets are all named The Fan. And do you know why all the stations are called The Fan? Because the fan is who they serve. And who is the fan? We are. Who are the real stars of the radio program? We are. The FCC must be closeted fans and listeners because for some unknown reason, the bottom line, they don't seem to care about the issue. Because sports talk radio should have never gotten the memo. These radio programs that continue to have no regard for public safety should be suspended. It's simple to identify callers in the car by hearing the crappy on-air connection. I would hope that other people than me are hearing this and are against it too. The thing is, they want the combative caller because there is nothing more entertaining to the listeners than hosts and callers who disagree. Sorry for other drivers and pedestrians on the road. Once Frank is humiliated while driving in dangerous stop-and-go traffic on 50,000 watts. It doesn't make a difference if Frank is wearing Bluetooth or driving hands-free. Distraction is distraction. Destruction is destruction. I used to be a regular caller from a landline. Perfect phone reception and connection. Then program directors began to see a transition to increased cell phone usage. They know that callers are calling in from cars, and yet they refuse to adjust the times we are living in. Special time should be designated to educating listeners to the safe way to call into radio station. Cigarettes and alcohol have warning labels. Why shouldn't radio stations be forced to use a portion of ad revenue to educate the public about destructive driving? Let's create a new normal of better community and business practices. It is an epic failure that talk show hosts rarely, if ever, remind listeners and callers to remain safe and accountable when riding the airways of the multi-billion-dollar industry. No legacy honors should be granted to any host who takes part in the destructive radio talk show industry. No one from the radio call-in industry complex should be patting themselves on the back. Instead, talk show hosts should actively spread a new message about safety and create a legitimate, good vibe environment for calling into radio stations. Without regular callers, there's no sports radio. They want more Frank on the car phone, and they want Frank on fast. Even if Frank being on air endangers his life or the lives of passengers or drivers or pedestrians around him. I'm Jordan Skopp, asking you to pay attention to the road and arrive safely at your destination.